Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today we're talking about free internet resources and how we can use all of those better. Are you ready? Let's get started. Well, in the world today, there's pretty much anything you'd want to learn about on the internet for free. You can learn about anything, name it, a whole bunch of stuff we would never name here, and pick it and you could learn about it, including leadership. Yep, there's a whole bunch of free leadership content on the web, including what you're watching right now. You know, YouTube and podcasts and apps. Oh my. It takes me back to the Wizard of Oz.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
You know, and just like Dorothy and her friends were terrified by the lions and tigers and bears, when we have all of these resources, this plethora of stuff available to us, it can almost be terrifying. And maybe you're saying, well, Kevin, I'm not terrified, but you're probably stuck. Because when we as human beings have too many options, we typically don't take any of them. We really just don't know where to turn. So what I want to do in this video today, on this free video today, is to give you some thoughts about how to take that terrifying or that stuckness that comes with all of those options and help you make a little more sense of it and take a little more advantage of all of these really tremendous opportunities that we have with the free resources that the web gives us. All right? So I got 4 things for you. The first one is to focus. Pick something you want to learn about. And leadership becomes really big. So I'd say get a little more clear on something specific you want to learn, whatever it might be, right? I want to learn how to cook Chinese. Now I got a little clearer picture. Now I want to learn how to do this or that or the next thing. I want to use my router that I bought to do DIY wood stuff. Now that's very clear. And so I want you to get very focused on what it is. If it's leadership, I want to work on being a better communicator. I want to work on being a better coach, whatever it might be. Start with your focus. A weekly focus, perhaps. Here's what I'm going to focus on this week. Or a monthly focus. Here's what I'm going to focus on this month in terms of how I utilize all this free stuff. Second thing I'm going to encourage you to do is to binge intentionally. Now, I have just recently gotten into this whole thing of binging television shows. I know a lot of people have been at it for a long time, but I've just sort of really, mostly recently sort of gotten to the place of like, I kind of like this. I'm going to really focus on Jim Rockford and the Rockford Files for a while. I'm going to watch Rockford. I'm telling you here to binge too. And here's why. Because when we're not intentional and we're not focused, we're just sort of, oh, that looks interesting, and we're clicking on this and we're clicking on this, and we're using time and not really gaining value. So by focusing, then I'm saying, hey, I'm going to take the next hour and I'm going to surf, or I'm going to browse, or I'm going to listen to stuff related to the item I focused on. So I'm saying binge a little more intentionally. The most important word here is intentionally, not binge, right? Third thing is, don't just passively take it in. If we're trying to use all of these amazing resources we have at our fingertips, we need to take notes. Don't just passively take it in. Take notes. Be a true learner. Be intentional about what you're learning. Here's an idea that I got. Here's a thing that I want to clip. Now, maybe you're taking notes like this. Maybe you're taking notes like this. Maybe you're cutting and pasting. I don't care what that part is. You will decide how to do that, but don't just passively take it in. Take notes, think about application, all that sort of thing. And the fourth thing is actually take action. So you got some notes, you review them, you go do something, you go try something, you go turn on your router, you go fire up the wok, or in our case, you go coach someone differently. Take some action. Focus on what it is that you really want to learn for a short period of time. Binge intentionally. Intentionally focus on what is the stuff that you want to learn about that topic area. Take notes and take action. If you do those 4 things, you can take this overwhelming and perhaps terrifying plethora of learning opportunities and turn it into something that we can turn into real value for us. And I hope you'll do exactly that, all of that. So let me close, as I always do, with a tweet. When it comes to free learning resources online, more isn't necessarily better. Decide what you want to learn and focus. Well, it's ironic, isn't it? Paradoxical, perhaps, that I'm talking about how to use free internet resources when you're watching one. But I want to tell you about another one, and that is my podcast called the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. Each week, we put out one new episode where I have an in-depth conversation with an expert, whether they're a leadership expert or whether they're a successful leader themselves. And we talk about their path. We talk about what's working for them. We talk about what they can learn, use for us. And I practice what we're preaching on this video. I encourage you to take action at the end. So if you want to learn more and subscribe to the Remarkable Leadership Podcast, we'd love for you to do that. Go to your favorite app, iTunes or wherever, Remarkable Leadership Podcast, or just go to remarkablepodcast.com.